All right, our last one here is indium and 3 bromine atoms. Okay, remember, how do I know that I have 3 bromine atoms? Because remember, right there, when I see that number after the Br that says 3, I know that I have to have 3 of those to make this work. Okay, if I only did one of these, you're out of luck. It's not gonna work. Okay, so we're gonna have 3 Brs right there. Okay, so let's start just like what we've always done. We're gonna start with, hey, let's look at our periodic table, and I see that indium, is right there, right? So it's in the 1, 2, right? Skip all this. It's in the third column, tall column group. So I know it's going to have 3 valence electrons. 1, 2, and 3. Okay? All right, let's look at Br. Br is all the way over here. So that's 8 valence and 7, right? If I'm working backwards. So it's got 7 valence electrons. So each one of these bromines, right? Let's move these over a little bit so it gives us a little bit more room to work with, right? Has 7 valence electrons. All right, so there you go. There's one. There's the second one. This is going to get a little bit crazier, right? Knowing that there's a lot going on right here. So this one, this, there, and there. All right, perfect. Okay, so now, same thing that we've done in the past, right? Regardless of whether or not you have 7 valence electrons or 8 valence electrons. Let me just make this a little bit taller so I can get everything in there. There we go. All right. Let's move this one over here a little bit more so that way we can see everything. Okay. All right. So we need to figure out if each one is a giver or a taker of valence electrons, right? So it doesn't matter if you have 1, 2, 3, 4 atoms, it's still the same, right? We still need to get to 0 or to 8, right? So indium has 3 valence electrons, right? So is it going to get to 0 or 8? Well, it's closer to 0 because all it has to do is give away 3 versus taking 5. Each Br has 7, which means that it's closer to getting to 8. So now I know which ones are my takers. I know indium is my giver, and I know each one of these bromines is a taker to get to the 8. Okay, now how does this work, right? When you have 4 valence or 4 of these here. Now, luckily, right, indium is a taker, right? Giver. These are all takers. So takers can only take away from a giver. So indium right here is going to give 1 here. This indium is going to give this one here, and then it's going to give its last one here. So it works out perfectly that, right, indium had 3 electrons, but it had 3 to give away because there's 3 of these. And that's the reason why you have to have 3, right? If you didn't have these 2, you wouldn't be able to give away all 3 of its valence electrons. Okay. All right, so now indium has 0, and each one of these bromines have 8. Perfect. Now what I need to do is, right, like always, I need to put my brackets. And this is where it gets kind of crazy, right? Because we got a lot of brackets, a lot of stuff going on. So try and be organized best as you can when you're doing all this stuff, because each one of these atoms now is different, right? They're different from what they started off. So indium right here it lost 3 electrons. So, and I'm going to put this up top here just so that you can see which one's which. It's a 3 plus charge because of the fact that it now has 3 more protons, right, than electrons. And then each one of these bromines, oops, I'm going to put this one next to it so you can see, right, has 1 minus charge because they have 1 more electron than they do protons. Now, 2 ways you can figure out, right, that you did it right. Number 1, the one that gave away its electrons has 0, right? All ionic bonds, one of the atoms has to get to 0, okay? 2, these all have 8 valence electrons. So my takers all have 8. So I know I did it right because of the fact that I have 0s and 8s. Perfect. Now also, I can look at the charges, right? I have 3 positive things and 3 negative things. So if I added all that together, they would cancel each other out. So I did it perfectly, right, in that case. So I know that this indium, right, has connected with all 3 of these bromines to make indium bromide as a molecule. Cool.